join us. All right. Good afternoon. Will staff please confirm quorum?
Yes. President Huddleston.
Present.
Vice President Dorman.
Here.
Past President Winnig. Here. Perfect. Director Montana.
Here.
Director Prince. Director Arce.
Present.
And Director Groves. Quorum is present.
A quorum being present, the May 7th, 2026 meeting of Strategic Housing Finance Corporation Board of Directors is hereby called to order at 1:34. We will now move to agenda item number 2, citizen communication. Do we have any registered speakers?
We do not.
Awesome. Citizen communication is now closed. We will now move to the director's report. I recognize Deputy Director David Dinoff for the report.
All right, good afternoon. Sitting here in place of Executive Director Diana Gray, whose son is graduating college today at UT. And I also just want to take a second. Our Director of Real Estate, Alex Radke, is back from parental leave. Okay, so here is the financial report once I move to the slide. We have right now about 18 months of operating expenses in our accounts, not counting Housing Production Fund or Portfolio Fund. So total cash on hand is just shy of $25 million. We have $500,000 in our IBC operating account. Unallocated cash in our taxable investment account sits at about $1.7 million, and our operating reserve fund remains at $3.7 million. Some March highlights, modest receipt of revenue just like last month, so $26,000 in construction admin fees from projects that are currently under construction, as well as $5,000 in application fees. And we are, as our income is every year, it's a bit lumpy on when it comes in. So income is at $280,000 year to date, and this is, reporting as of March 31st. $280,000 year to date, and then expenditures are at $575,000 year to date. Some reminders and calendar items. Next week, a week from today, Strategic Housing Finance Corporation will be at the Travis County Commissioners Court to brief Travis County Commissioners on our update as of the last 6 months. So we go there twice a year, and so this will be our first for 2026. And then on May 19th, we will be doing a property tour. You will see Blue Ridge Flats and Wild Horse Flats up there, both Elmington properties. Blue Ridge Flats, we were just there, some of us this morning, including President Huddleston and Director Groves. Thank you for coming for the ribbon cutting of Blue Ridge Flats. And so that was an exciting event this morning. And then we have our next regular board meeting will be on June 4th. And that concludes the director's report.
Do any board members have questions for Deputy Director Dinoff? Great. Thank you for the report, David. At this time, the board will enter into executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with an attorney. The specific items which may be addressed in the executive sessions are agenda items 8A and 8B. Is there a motion to enter executive session? Director Winnig.
Second.
Seconded by Director Dorman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The motion carries. Those not attending executive session, kindly clear the room. The board is now back to open session at 2:19.
Do we need people to return or Kevin to open it?
Yes, we'll ask Kevin to bring us back into open session live.
Yes, everyone can come in, whoever wants to, including Mr. Kumar. Yeah.
No, it didn't happen.
So we're about to put it into the sun, and that's an aberration.
Okay, so we'll need to
Or
amend the minutes for,
I'm not gonna hold anything up, it's loose around the edges.
yeah. David, for minutes for last, thank you. For minutes for last meeting, on the approval, we've got discussion items, a review of the build-to-rent housing model. We didn't cover that last time because we ran out of time.
I'm sorry, I haven't read the minutes. Do they say that we did discuss it? Or does it just say it was on the agenda?
Staff is gonna send it to us separately.
Yes. So, so it was on the agenda. We did, you had requested we send it as a video.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what I don't have the minutes in front of me. Is that what the?
I didn't get the video.
No, we have not prepared it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we plan to
It doesn't
have
say
it.
when we would.
No, I know,
Yes.
it's just loose.
The video, the intent of the video would be to get it to you before we bring a BTR project to the board to consider, which we have one in the pipeline. And so this would just be so you're familiar with the product and you have that understanding before you go and take a vote on a BTR project.
Any estimate on when we're gonna get that?
So we would like to bring that project at the next meeting, so probably
When will we get the video?
in the next 30 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Item 3. Yeah, did we have any administrative items?
No, not on the agenda.
All right. We're now back in open session. We'll now return to our consent agenda items 5A and 5B. The consent agenda includes the following items: approval of minutes from the April 2nd regular meeting, and the adopting of a credit card policy and use agreement. Before I can entertain a motion, are there any requests from directors to remove an item from the consent agenda for separate consideration? Any objections to approving the consent agenda as presented? Hearing no objections, the consent agenda is approved. Now to item 6. At the staff's request, we will not be discussing or voting on item 6A today, but we anticipate it returning to the next meeting. We'll now move to 6B, Verbena Flats Bond Resolution. We will now consider voting item 6B. The item is a resolution prescribing the form and substance of an agreement to issue bonds related up to $50 million in multifamily housing revenue bonds for Verbena Flats. I now recognize staff to present this item.
If I may invite up Jackson Mabry and then as well as Mr. Sam Kumar, Mr. Pranav Kumar, if you want to come up. These are the developers behind this project with Journeyman Group. Yeah, we'll just scoot down.
There you go.
So this is for a bond inducement for a project called Verbena Flats, and so just to reiterate, this is a signaling of intent but not obligation to issue debt on these projects. It's the first step in the private activity bond issuance process. We will bring to you at a later date soon the more larger MOU, partnership MOU discussion on this project. And so I will hand it off to Jackson to go over the project.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to add that, while we normally prefer to do both the MOU for partnership and bond inducement concurrently, something particular with Verbena is that a large chunk of their financing sources are coming from a ROTA soft money loan, for which Verbena has received approval on the condition that they have their bond inducement by June 1st. So wanting to prioritize that, while the MOU isn't quite finalized, we're going to be discussing this project within the context of Strategic being the bond issuer and nothing more today. So for today's meeting at least. We're just going to focus on that perspective for strategic. So up on the screen, we have just a general overview of the project. It's located in South Austin on West Slaughter Lane. It is proposed new construction of a 4-story wrap building. There are 328 units planned at varying sizes, with units featuring 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, and at varying rent and income restrictions, with units being affordable to households making 30, 40, 50, and 60% of area median income. This would be a 4% LIHTC deal type, and the developer is requesting a $50 million bond inducement. As mentioned, the developer partner is Journeyman Group, from which we have president of Journeyman, Sam Kumar, and hopefully he can provide some additional color and answer any questions we might have about the project along the way. We can go to the next slide. So we'll look at location here. As mentioned, it's in South Austin at 1017 West Slaughter Lane, about 8 miles south of downtown, 9 miles west of the Austin Bergstrom International Airport. Up on the slide, just for y'all's context, we just are also showing the remainder of Strategic's portfolio. This project would be more centrally located within a high-access, high-transit area, served by local Cap Metro bus stops, established schools, and major employment centers, providing transit or vehicle access to those nearby. We can go to the neighborhood amenities on the next slide, which I have. So here's a look at the site, just kind of in context of the surrounding area. Nearby educational facilities include Casey Elementary School and Paredes Middle School within a half-mile of the site, and also Atkins High School, about 1.5 miles from the site, all within the Austin Independent School District. As far as retail and dining, we have South Park Meadows, a regional shopping center nearby, and recreational opportunities include Mary Moore C. Wright Metropolitan Park, about a mile from the site. It's a 300-plus acre park offering hiking and biking trails. We have nearby medical services, including St. David's South Austin Medical Center. And one really important feature about the site we'd like to emphasize is the transit access. It's positioned on Slaughter Lane with convenient connectivity to I-35 nearby. And there are Cap Metro transit routes just right near the site, providing access to South Austin as well as downtown. And next we'll look at the project site. So we'll just get a look at the site layout. Keep in mind that the image on the slide is currently oriented with north to the left, just to give us a better look horizontally. The land is currently vacant and undeveloped. As far as the proposed improvements, there will be a single 4-story residential building positioned centrally, extending north to south to the back of the property. The main vehicular path and entrance to the garage are located on the east side, so that's left as facing from Slaughter. Prospective tenants will utilize the driveway turnaround at the front of the building with immediate access to the leasing office. There's also a fire lane on the west, so that's right if facing from Slaughter. And the garage will be centered in the middle of the property and will be enveloped by residential units. So here you can get a good look at the 3 separate courtyards for residential use. And you can see in the southwest corner of the property, this is designated as a critical water quality zone, and that will remain undeveloped. Some surrounding uses, we have single-family homes located directly east and to the south of the property. The neighboring property to the west is actually city-owned land. It's an Austin Energy facility. And then the entire north side of the property is West Slaughter Lane frontage. And right across the street is a daycare center. So on the next slide, this is from the latest architectural set we received. just to give you a glimpse of what the building might look like. It's, as mentioned, 4 stories tall, and that is going to top out at about 50 feet. You can see a list of the planned materials for this proposed construction. The site will feature 3 courtyards, a fitness center, a dog park, and even some electric vehicle charging stations. So we'll get into the unit mix now. As mentioned, it's going to be 328 units in total. How that breaks out in terms of affordability, you will have 217 units reserved for households making 60% or less of area median income, or AMI, 97 units at 50% AMI, 7 units at 40% AMI, and 7 units at 30% AMI. And as far as the bedroom sizes and mix, it's going to feature a majority 2-bedroom units, with the rest primarily being studios and 1-bedrooms, but it does also feature some 3-bedroom units as well. On the next slide, we have an estimate of what the final sources and uses might look like for this project. So this is from Journeyman's formal application submission. In total, the project cost comes out to $90 million, so split across 328 units. That's about $273,000 per unit. I will point out that sources include a $4.5 million HPF, or Housing Production Fund, request from Strategic, which we will plan to discuss at a later board date. I'll also point out the aforementioned $8 million ROTA loan. That's from the Rental Housing Development Assistance Program of Austin. So here's just a developer profile of Journeyman Group. They're based locally here in Austin. They are vertically integrated with an in-house general contractor and property management company. They are a top developer of multifamily in Austin, delivering over 10,000 units during their history, and currently maintaining a portfolio of over 4,800 units, with many of those being rent restricted. They've got a lot of experience working with affordable projects, both LIHTC and workforce housing, and experience partnering with local agencies such as Travis County HFC and HACA. And then on the next slide, I'll round out the rest of the team here. So the architect for this project is Belshaw Mulholland, headquartered in Dallas, but have a lot of experience with Austin multifamily development projects. And then the GC and property management company, of course, those are subsidiaries of the Journeyman organization, and they both bring their own extensive experience of multifamily construction and management here in Austin, Texas. So I'll give you all a bird's eye of the timeline. So they already have the site acquired, as well as the right zoning, and they've got a site development permit acquired. Journeyman is more likely to be more qualified to speak to the latest timeline expectations. But what we have here on the screen is the latest from their materials submitted in their application. And we understand that the plans are generally as follows. So that's to receive the building permit in the next month or two, apply for a bond reservation at the August collapse, which will give them 180 days to close from there, and expecting to receive all their financing approval and then to close in Q3 of this year, followed by an expected construction period of about 24 months. So that's going to have you start lease up and the completion of construction in Q3 of 2028. So I'll conclude with just some overall considerations highlighting the strengths. This is a fairly central, transit-rich location with strong market fundamentals, proximity to multiple neighborhood services, and access to employment centers. And then I'll highlight the next steps. So for today, staff is recommending that the board improve the inducement, which, as David mentioned, signals intent and not obligation of the requested $50 million in private activity bonds for the financing of Verena Flats. Still to come to put this on your radar, there's still the approval of the MOU for partnership, approval of the MOU for HPF funding. And then I know that Journeyman has better grasp of this, but they are working to complete those remaining steps for entitlements and permitting, as well as bridge any remaining financing gaps. So that would be the conclusion of my presentation here of Bermuda Flats.
Thank you, Jackson. Gentlemen, would you?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This is our first time meeting the board. Thank you for the opportunity. We have worked with Travis County Housing Finance Corporation. We've got 5 projects going on with them. And we've got 2 LIHTC projects with the Housing Authority of City of Boston, Bridge at Granada and Bridge at Turtle Creek. And then we've got 4 other workforce housing projects with Housing Authority of City of Boston. I've always wanted to come and do business with Strategic, and I know there are a lot of people hesitant with the HB 21 passing to do business with the HFCs, but we've been actually having this relationship with Ms. Diana and Alex, talking over several deals, and this one seemed to have a good fit between the SHFC organization and our organization. And we're actually fairly excited about this project. And the key thing that I want to say here is, one, we are a very strong sponsor. We're ranked the #1 multifamily builder in Austin by Austin Business Journal for last several years. But we're not any bigger than all the larger folks like Trammell Crow or Endeavor, or they're all multi-state big organizations. We are still, I call it, mid-sized firm. We've got about 120 people that work for us, and we still do about 150 million in construction every year, and we still have the largest number of units that we're developing and have under management here in Austin. So we're kind of blessed to say that, hey, we're making debt service payments on all of them. In this day, that's actually a pretty good record, right? To just make the payments and survive. So we are actually in very good shape with respect to the management of the units. Even on LIHTC, we actually started out with other management companies, but we changed it to our management company because we have a better control over the qualifications and the just having a finger on the pulse with respect to getting the people and giving the services that they deserve. So we always score pretty high with TDHCA with respect to the services we provide for the low-income housing residents. And they're all done in-house with some external providers just to augment the services. So we take great pride in that. And we're excited to be here to work with y'all. Hopefully this will be the start of many projects that we work with you.
Thank you so much.
I think Jackson did a great job in his presentation, sitting back and cleaning up here. So the one thing I'll add is thank you all for the opportunity. One thing I think is important to note, and Jackson covered it really well, is that the service, the transitability, and the affordability actually scored the highest in RHDA's funding process out of any project that went up, which is why I think we were successful getting our funding. So we feel really good about the good that this project can bring to the community.
Yeah. And I'll add one more thing to what my colleague said. This is a project that has 1/3 of the units at 50% and below AMI. So it's reserved for families that are making 50% AMI and below. And we haven't been able to get a project to that level. And we were able to do that, thankfully, because of the support we're receiving from RSDA and the requests that we have made with y'all. So you can feel good about, okay, we're supporting a project that has 50% AMI and below.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the presentation, all of you. The chair will now entertain a motion. Is there a motion?
Move approval of the item?
Yes.
Second.
Great. It has been moved and seconded that the board approve voting item 6B. The motion before us is to approve the resolution as presented. I will now open the floor for questions. Any of the directors have questions about this development? I started with
Thank you,
Roman.
and thank you, all of you, thank you. Sounds like a great project. I'm sure I missed it on the slides. What are the cross streets, please?
Manchac is about half a mile away. Just
But they're the fronts on Slaughter,
Slaughter.
and then the two side streets.
yeah, they're
And if you don't know, that's it's just
between
kind of my
South
neighborhood.
First and then Shopton.
Manchac.
Okay.
There's not necessarily a major cross
Okay.
street
Major,
on
yeah.
the street.
Wow, that's a great location. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. Southwest Austin. So.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Director Winning.
Does Rec Chair wish to comment at all about your discussion and deliberations on this in committee? Anything that wasn't highlighted or anything you thought we should know about this deal?
Yes, since I have the floor is the chair of
Oh,
rec
that's right.
is Madam
No,
President.
No, correct.
If you want
Yes.
me to,
I
as the
actually
previous
invited-
rec chair, talk about it.
I'm going to discuss. I am going to call upon my colleague, Director Maria Gonzalez Altamirano, because I think it's best that the chair not enter into debate. So, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
Past Rec Chair.
could we go back to the? Did we have a slide with the aim on this?
I did not feature that in
Yeah.
this board slide.
That would be great.
I since we skipped it, but to summarize, here are three important things to remember about this. One, it does well on our affordability metric. The reason it does well on the affordability metric is because of our unique way of thinking about impact. The two twos at this location, at this income level, are, given what has been available to us and what is in our portfolio, very impactful and distinctive within our portfolio. Number three, the cost per unit. If you look at the cost per unit, it's $275. There's a lot of bedrooms. The 2.2s are really important given what we've been approving. And so this is a very cost-effective construction at delivering affordability impact. Yes, they are getting a ROTA loan. Yes, potentially they may be getting an HPF loan, but we are getting significant impact with some portfolio spatial diversification with a partner that has some qualities. And so I want to talk a little bit about that because I think you're teeing me up for this. So Mr. Kumar, you may not know this, but every day I drive by your building on Lamar. And I've served now on the board 4 years, I'm going on to 5. And when I joined, it was not like this. It was a different situation. A few of us joined to make things better. And in the darkest days, I was trying to figure out, one day things will be good. What will it look like when days are good? Ms. Radke's heard this story a million times, so forgive me. Welcome back, and you get to hear the story again. And so I went around and asked everybody, who are the best, right? If we're the best HFC in town, and one day on our way to being the best HFC in Texas, who would come and do business with us, right? Mm-hmm. And you all came up. And at that time, you were doing a few workforce deals with our sisters at TCHFC, and I saw sort of how you all presented. I saw how you talked about the deals. I saw how the county treated you, which obviously has a very high standard because those are elected officials,
Yes, ma'am.
And so I was sort of hoping that our paths would cross. And so one of the things that really stood out to me about how people talked about your work is your attention to the quality of the build. As you know, oftentimes we get folks that are at heart finance people, right? They do not care about the engineering of the structures. They do not care about the quality of the construction. They do not care about what the asset will be as physical homes. They care about what the asset will be as cells in a spreadsheet. And I think one of the things that came across from sort of my conversations is there was potentially you all were different. And that is my great hope for this partnership and our potential partnerships. I obviously just lauded that you get $275 per unit. I hope that is a result of the high quality of both how you purchase, design, and schedule construction through your construction company, not cutting corners. And obviously, as we consider HPF, one of the things we want to make sure is you live up to that reputation. Another element of your reputation is that you are genuinely interested in the life outcomes of your tenants. It's not just an input to provide the output. And I think that's one of the things as we consider the HPF, we want to make sure it is mission aligned as it is a unique resource. This is, how can I put it? This is money we've worked very hard for.
Yes, sir.
Right? We do not get to go to the voters, the generous voters, and get $300 million a pop. So these things really matter to us as we consider it. I'm very excited that you are here in the flesh. And other Mr. Kumar as well. It's a testament to kind of how far we've come, or I think we've come in the last 4 years. And I think the biggest blessing we could give the people that have been on this journey with us, including our tenant representatives, the people that have believed in the transformation of the organization. Ms. Gregg, who unfortunately is not here today because her child is graduating. The best thing we could do is deliver on the promise of this building and or other potential partnerships at the level of aspiration that we have for it.
Absolutely.
So every morning when you look on Lamar at around 8 in the morning, know if you see a little white ridge line driving by, that's me making sure. That's me making sure that this is a quality business.
Yes, sir.
I will be supporting this item.
We will. We'll definitely live up to the expectations and exceed them. So thank you for the kind words.
Thank you. Dr. Wendy?
Yeah, just to follow up a little bit, and yes, you did hit the high points. I was very interested in the AIM, which is something we're constructing as a metric to be able to better really evaluate what the impact on affordability in our community is and what the life experience will be for the tenants with quality and access to opportunity economically in transit. So that was really helpful. I just want to ask you real quick about, I love the 2-2s.
And there's a 4-3-2s.
There's 4-3-2s.
4-3-2s.
That's my next question. Did y'all talk at all about more bedrooms, or is this just what can pencil?
So the process that we have in terms of the development experience we have set up is we provide a policy to the staff.
Right.
If it's in policy, we provide a task process. I think we can talk more because of the HPF request about that, but it would be an ad hoc discussion since we have not set a bedroom policy. And so, as you know, we say more 3-2s and that shuffles. For me, as you know, one of my radicalizing experiences was living in East Riverside next to a mom who, in a 1-1, had to make things work. And it was very hard for her. So having some 2-2s is good enough for me.
Big deal. Okay. And
Well, I think this is helpful. So I just wanted to say, anecdotally, I always ask leasing agents when I go to our properties. What's your most popular unit type?
Yep.
And in the last year, every single property I visited, it's the 2 bedrooms.
yeah, so that is a question behind that question, which is, has there been an assessment of the community need and or dialogue within the community about how you determined this configuration? Have you had any interaction with the community? Alex, I have one more question for you, so don't go away.
We've had some discussions with the community when we were planning the zoning meetings, and obviously, when you're having the community discussions, it's mostly single-family homeowners coming to
Right.
meetings. It's not.
No, this is in my backyard. Yeah,
I know, right.
I'm one of them.
Right. So the project was received with concern because it's a multifamily
Right.
building that's going to be standing in there viewpoint, but we were able to address a lot of concerns from the community, and we had to go through the city zoning requirements, and the project did get unilaterally approved by City
Okay.
Council.
Is there future plans for community involvement, or is that over?
That phase is over.
Fair.
Yes.
Okay. And for you, Alex, to return to something that Director Altamirano touched on, we do have a history of problems. And the problems that we've had have not been with this developer. So I just want to say, is there anything you want to highlight about the difference in the documents and the contracts from the problems we're having, and we recently discussed earlier today, that you see as exemplary or worthy of note in the way you're constructing this deal?
I can't comment on the specific ones. This is my first week back from maternity leave.
True.
And so I have not gotten to be part of some of these great discussions. But I will say, personally, I have, in a previous role with a different organization, had experience working with Sam and Journeyman. And I've always been impressed with the level of communication and transparency. And so I expect that if you ask Jackson and David, hopefully that's also been their experience so far on Verbena Flats.
Yeah, no, sir.
Content of the docs, exemplary?
Oh yeah, we had some tough questions about the acquisition cost. And
Yeah.
they were able to answer them quite well. So appreciate that.
Thank you.
Just one quick question/comment. I was, very excited to see the 30% MFI, 40% MFI units, even if it is, a few 50%. Anything sub 60 is great, but really getting deeper, that's something I know that the county is, and the city is very concerned about. So obviously it takes a lot of capital sources to get to that, to be able to make it pencil, but it is the need in the community. And so, I appreciate that was your focus. And in addition, I think the transit orientation is so important. So I was, excited to hear that was very central to the location and how you guys are thinking about positioning your property, and of course the nice amenities around that area. So yeah, I really appreciate the thoughtfulness that you put into it, and all the work that you put in to really work on that affordability. So thank you.
Thank you, Director.
Any further questions? Great. I will now open the floor for discussion. I think that everyone has. Does anyone have any further discussion? Great. Hearing none, discussion is closed. We will now proceed to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Good luck.
coming.
Don't break our hearts.
Thank you for coming in person.
Thank you.
Right.
Our planners really do like them.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, really matters.
Thank you very much.
We will now move to discussion item 7A. This item is for discussion regarding the legal matters / general counsel overview and direction. Before we start that, I would like to address Director Dorman and Director Winnie's previous comments and announce that we are going to dissolve LIMCO. The members of the committee have put in an extraordinary amount of time and effort, and I want to especially thank Carrie and Jan for their dedication to this. As a committee, it has become very clear that what the scope of strategic is facing is much more complex and expensive than we had ever anticipated. Let's see. So LIMCO is going to recommend hiring general counsel that would report directly to the board on all governance matters and have a dotted line reporting to the executive director for administrative purposes and any management issues requiring legal guidance. In the interim, we recommend that the board hear from legal counsel directly through monthly written updates and an occasional participation in board meetings as requested by the executive committee. Director Dorman, would you care to speak on this item?
I don't have any background, as you all know, with previous discussion or mentions of a general counsel. But I do think, having served on LIMCO, I think a vigorous investigation of the potential to have a general counsel would be beneficial to strategic. And not just for litigation matters, but I think there are other matters on which a general counsel could either directly work on or manage or help in finding, soliciting, and hiring outside counsel. So I am in favor of the idea for the organization. I think there will be some discussion, and I hope there is discussion about what it will exactly look like, full-time, part-time. But I do believe, and after consultation with LIMCO and our consultant, Ms. Garcia, I believe a direct report to the board with a dotted line to the ED is a good way to go for our organization.
Great. Dr. Winning, do you have any?
Sure. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. There is a history of occasional requests for general counsel that I think the only other person other than myself who might be here in the room could remember is that there are times when there were issues of conflict of interest of directors around voting or not voting on certain programs given their standing in the community and their potential benefit from the results of the vote. There have been requests for general counsel and nudges from our appointers to get a general counsel when there were TOMA issues, and that was directed to me when I was asking for some TOMA clarifications and went to our appointers and to their counsel, and they said, oh, you should have your own general counsel. And I'm like, oh, I'll ask for it. But that was under a different ED, and then, here we are. There's also been some occasions where we had dual appointees on this board, along with the Housing Authority of Travis County's board, and that became a question of how can you fiduciarily approve this loan to HATC as strategic, and wonder if it'll ever get repaid, and yet vote on HATC. That's a great idea for us fiduciary. So there was these really murky areas. So that was another issue when we were looking for general counsel. All those things are gone. But I think TOMA could possibly resurface. I think conflict of interest is always an issue. We sign that paper every year as a member of the board. So those are minor. I think the compelling issue is what we discussed earlier in executive session.
Sorry, could I just add on the end of Director Winnig? I think when the board looks at general counsel, and I don't know when that will be, whether I'll still be here, but some things to keep in mind are general counsel is just a title. I mean, when I was researching this, it could be legal manager, it can be a lot of different things. So however you all want to frame it, you look at part-time, full-time, or maybe an on-call situation. There are different ways to structure it. And the RFQs are, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but going to be really important because, I mean, I can see HR, real estate, litigation, all of our administrative business. I mean, there are a lot of places that having someone, a general counsel, could be helpful.
We will not be taking a vote on this today, but I do welcome your thoughts for those of you who are not on LIMCO. Does anyone have any questions about the ideas or any comments in favor or opposed to hiring legal counsel? Director Gross.
Question, do we have any sort of peer benchmarking on this? Like, do the local HFCs all have general counsels? Are HFCs of similar size? Is it pretty common?
Yeah, Lemco did entertain this and did some initial research, and so we do have a set of RFQs from a sister organization. But of note, there are many HFCs that function without general counsel, and they do hire specialty firms on a project basis. But we do have a set of RFQ bullet points that we're willing to, if the board agrees that this is a good direction to go, and we will pass to staff to return in June with a proposal. And perhaps we could also ask staff to, at that time, compare to our peer organizations, see what's useful.
Thank you. Any additional thoughts?
I just have a question. You want the council to be hired, fired, evaluated by the board?
Yes.
Yes.
And so say more about about our capacity to do that realistically, and why, as distinct from typical corporation. You want it to be like a city attorney situation, where there's a check and balance, and it's sort of like the lawyer is a part of the corporation, but ultimately responsive to the non-executive of the entity. So in the city manager is the executive. People get confused, but that is the operational executive, right? The attorney is sort of, because of their particular appointment, evaluation, hiring path, is responsive to different constituencies. They are empowered to represent the city. Well, because both the council, the manager, and in theory the public all have a place in what happens to the city attorney, and it's been debated who should be the city attorney, what the process for selection of the city and hiring and firing of the city attorney should be. That was in the Charter Review Commission. Long story short is, I want to make sure I understand why we want it to be independent, and if you think we can truly do hire, fire, eval of a council. In REC, we've talked about it a few times, but is the need for capacity and comparative expertise. So we do a lot of transactions, we're going to do a lot of litigation, we're going to do a lot, it's part of real estate business, lawyer stuff. So why don't we just have our own lawyer to save on fees and have an accumulation of information? This seems a little different than technical ability and saving the taxpayers' money. It sounds like something else. And so I just want to make sure I'm understanding the flavor of it a little bit better.
Yes, absolutely. Karen, do you have anything to add to that?
I think, am I correct that your question is why have the lawyer report directly to the board?
When I worked
Is that
at
your baseline
When I worked at a
question?
corporation council, they were hired and fired by the mayor, by the executive, because they were the city's lawyer, but ultimately the person accountable for the outcomes of the enterprise was the top elected official. Here we have a different kind of a city attorney situation, but the executive has significant influence and power. So it's sort of like, is the issue you want the board to have their own lawyer that is structurally, I'll just say it just so that we can cut to the chase, so I understand that is structurally adversarial to those procured by the executive, or is a shared utility that we happen to select and evaluate?
I believe, the way I see it, and this is just me personally, it would be a shared utility because there are going to be a lot of instances where the lawyer and the executive director have to will want to and should interface and will support one another. But on the advice of our consultant for our organization, she believes that it should be the lawyer should be a direct report to the board with a dotted line to the executive director. So it's not like they're in completely separate silos. It's not the board's lawyer. It's the organization's lawyer, it's just the direct report is to the board, to maintain the lawyer's autonomy.
Where would they sit?
I
On
don't
the
know
org
what you
chart?
mean by that.
Where
On
would
the
they
org
physically?
chart?
Where would they physically show up to work every day?
Here. Or, I mean, if they're part-time, then
Uh-huh.
they work remote or whatever. I mean, there's a lot, your question is a good one, but I don't think it can be really fairly addressed today.
We're evaluating fractional versus full-time.
Okay. So I want to hear more about it any direction. In terms of the stuff that's like rec land and things that I really care about, I think we do need our own lawyer for transaction and just in the past and when whomever is doing this, I feel sometimes we put our real estate executive professionals in a position of having to exercise legal judgment or oversight over their legal vendors. That might be a little bit of a mismatch and an unfair ask because we are a smaller organization. In a place like the county or the city, there's a city law department, and I just saw a posting from like the city of Austin being like, we need another real estate lawyer to do all the kind of stuff that we do. So we know they have those tools and capacity. Then there's the additional sort of, TOMA and ethics and other policies. So it's a question of where do we want them to land, how much time, etc. I would add to your research, would it be beneficial, does staff think it would be beneficial, lighten their load, make them more effective, if we had a high quality lawyer with a skill set that matches the bulk of our expected over the next 10 years expenditure hours of time, because obviously we're total external counsel at the moment, and that just from a good government perspective that makes sense. Yes, this person might end up being the highest paid person in the enterprise depending on the skill set and whatever, but to the court and the taxpayers I would say, well, would you rather spend $300K or $900K, because the work will have to get done. And this is the billable hour out there, and this is what an FTE costs. And so I would put that bucket on top of this bucket and that bucket of stuff.
Yeah, I guess I would just like to see like a cost-benefit analysis to, understand the scope of a role that either full-time, part-time general counsel would have, and thus what is being freed up from staff time to do more business and bring in more revenue, to balance out the cost, right? And then, but also what are we actually not going to contract out? It's what we're still going to need the specialty folks to do some of the really, complex, litigation matters that we have to deal with. So, I just think that this is all a calculus, and it really requires that exercise of putting it down on paper. This person would cover this, and here's going to be the benefit. Here's the impact to our finances on this new salary or, contract, partial salary or whatever. Just to see, do we have enough business to support that? I think that's a question.
Yeah, absolutely. Very valid points. Anything from this side? I would ask you could you briefly walk us through the process it took to hire Diana?
Oh.
I didn't expect that.
Former president, go for it.
Oh my goodness. Should we do this offline? I don't know.
We can definitely, because
It's quite a story. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to just do the outline?
Well, I guess the phases would be sort of, we're going to do this, we're going to prime.
Interim.
Yeah, we're going to do it. Settling on what we're doing and what it means for what you're going to be telling you're going to do. Priming the volume so that people apply, people know. You don't want to just put out hey, some lawyer apply. I mean, maybe you do, but I wouldn't suggest it. And then the actual process work, which is difficult to design
Yes.
things that actually test for the skills and handle the stakeholders, handle the current board. So the good thing is, typically, right, once you have an attorney, they stay with you for a while. So if you discount the work that a group does over the 5 or 8 year, what have you, it's not that much work per year, but it is work for somebody. And then, it seems small, but I want to reiterate, we have trouble evaluating in a timely way. And Ms. Gray has been
Yes.
gracious. We have been great in that we are very clear about KPIs, and there's a form and feedback, and there's really no surprises, I think. I don't think she's surprised by anything we've ever said, really. But that takes time, and to do that now twice a year, my initial reaction was like, how would we do that? Maybe if we have 15 boards or the advisory or whatever. So what I would say is we need a coherent system if indeed we're going to have a 20-hour, 40-hour additional senior executive that we have to evaluate correctly, because this is if they're a person of the stature that we need, we can't just be like, oh, and then we meet for 2 hours and tell you if we like you or not. We can't treat people of that caliber that way, I would argue. So it's a significant time commitment. And then, since I got the floor, and I just want to finish this comment because I didn't say it well enough for you last time, Madam President. Whatever system ends up getting recommended, it needs to be like coherent. So if it's a 48-hour person that's coming here every day, 95% of the time to work on consensus, transactional, dispositional, litigation stuff, adding the workload to the board of evaluating, hiring, firing that person. If it's we need a mix of the board's own lawyer for 20 hours. That's also perhaps something similar to like performance auditor or independent auditor, because there's like a feeling there. That's a different thing. Like CalMetro, nobody's ever heard of them. CalMetro has a efficiency auditor. Nobody's ever heard of them, but they're there and they provide oversight over a variety of topics. And if this is sort of our counterbalance independent mini lawyer for certain sets of things, then that's a different role. So whatever proposal it is, it's got to be coherent. I guess you're hearing a lot of me like, I'm scared about evaluating a person of the caliber that we would want.
Do any evaluation metrics come to mind, or should I ask that question next time?
Next time.
Okay.
But
So more about evaluation, less about hiring. Gotcha. That's the point, is that if you're going to hire somebody, you want to treat them right, you want to make sure their expectations are laid out, and you want to make sure we've got capacity to do the oversight if that's our duty. So that's fair. I think where we are, if I'm right, Madam Chair, is that there's going to be in June a proposal of how to proceed with whether it's part-time or full-time, what the content of the RFQ is, like what are the specialty areas that we wish to have represented in this person that we're going to recruit and or advertise for. So I think there's going to be another bite at this apple. I think we're going to be doing this in June.
I don't want any bites at any apples. I just want an apple pie that's tasty.
I wish we
so
did.
whoever's making it,
It's not gonna be baked.
I'm just saying, make me a good apple pie.
Oh, that's
I don't need to be involved. All right.
I wish.
So whoever's going to do it, just do it the right way.
All right, Madam Chair, that's all I have.
I guess I just didn't want to gloss over the, dissolving of LIMCO, and where, I think it still behooves the board to have legal expertise to, if we are able to recruit a board member and they get appointed, and that's all it is. But, that still would be nice. I certainly don't want the workload that, has fallen on the board. I think having that buffer, having somebody else in that role would, in a general counsel type position would help. But do we envision that because most of legal matters are related to real estate, or would it be an executive committee? Like, where would we talk about legal matters then?
In the interim.
in the future if there's no.
Yeah. So again, working with our organizational consultant, Eileen Garcia, there is a charter proposed for a legal affairs committee in the future that looks very different than what LUNCO was established. And so that charter, I don't know what's happening with the charters. My committee has suggested that ours be adopted, so is your committee. So that could possibly be discussed when the charters come up for approval and adoption, because there is a space holder for a future legal affairs committee, which is different than having an attorney appointed to the board and having them perform their craft as part of a committee member. And I think that that's something that perhaps once you see the charter, you can understand the distinction between that skill set and the component, the membership of a committee and what they're charged with doing.
Okay. Yeah. No, I wasn't aware there was a different legal committee.
There is, which is one of the reasons we're dissolving, is we couldn't continue in this configuration anyway. We were set up as a sounding board, and that's not the structure that all the committees are now being set up with.
Okay, thank you.
In the interim, the legal issues will go to executive. We will decide in exec whether to bring, if we're going to get briefed via memo, or if we'll ask council to be here.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further thoughts, questions, concerns? Great. LIMCO has already begun drafting job description, which the committee will share with staff, and we would like staff to begin working on developing the posting that could follow from the draft and begin gathering information on appropriate compensation so that we can vote on the hiring of general counsel in the June meeting.
Are we going to get that cost benefit analysis?
We will task.
Okay.
We will task.
Because I think
so
I need to see more information.
Are there any more deliverables before we have job posting criteria?
You're saying that you're gonna come back with the job posting as it would be if we adopted the recommendation, not we're gonna post a job.
We're not posting the job.
Right, it's not in the budgeted, so.
Right.
We will come to you with a plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then approve.
And then we would amend the budget to cover the position.
Correct.
All right. Deliverables, the cost benefit, and yeah, just the sort of envisioned fire eval process.
Maybe a little more detail from Eileen about her recommendation of the reporting structure, governance structure. I don't know if there's any context you can provide with that, but it sounds like,
We could also have her here.
Yep. Right. Cost benefit eval criteria, is that a fair deliverable? Is that what? I mean, I think that's fair. Or at least like some rough draft of it.
Process.
I guess the sequence is you're gonna pick what you want, and then it's sort of what do they cost? Does it make sense? Are we getting bang for the buck really? And then if this is who we're having, what does it mean for the board in terms of fire evaluate? And what does it mean? It means like how would we hire? Who gets to decide what firing? Who is responsible for drafting the evaluation? Does staff get to provide feedback on the evaluation? Can the ED be like, boy, y'all's lawyer is no good? Or can they not do that? It's sort of, there's a lot of pieces there.
Yeah, it feels like, does it make sense, and can we afford it as the first step before we're talking about a lot of these details? In my view. I mean, not that they're not important, but let's decide, are we doing this? Does it make sense? And can we afford it?
So, wait.
Finally. Are there no law firms that we could do like monthly memberships with to where it breaks out? Because I think the way that it's being looked at is LIMCO, right? But I think, or maybe I'm overthinking, right? Once you get a person in place, I think that because of the title attorney, they might become just kind of like a default go-to for all kinds of questions that may not be within their specialty. So I guess kind of thinking outside the box here, are there not law firms that rather than bringing on a staff member, are there not law firms that we can contract out monthly or in some kind of annual membership that we can leverage those services, like consultation?
Director Norman, do you have thoughts on that?
Yes, and I called it on-call, which is not strictly what an on-call is,
Right.
but you could do a retainer kind of situation and there's sometimes it's set up financially a lot of different ways, a sliding scale, this many hours, that many hours.
Right.
Still though, it would be what's in the RFQ, because I think strategic would need someone who could both do and manage. Could do some of the work, like a lot of the heavy lifting I think is real estate, is contracts, is our meetings, etc. And then, but perhaps that attorney also has some experience in litigation that arises from those things, and they could then manage outside litigation counsel. But yeah, I think it's certainly worth, once we're set on what, let's see, what was Julio's first question? What with Diana? Settle on what we want and what we need to do, and then I think there might be some law firms that fit the bill.
Right. Okay.
You know what else would be a great deliverable, Madam President? If you could replay a few of our recent legal adventures, how would it have been different if we had this role? Because I think that might pressure test any assumptions about is there value or not. So let me give you 3 examples. Protracted partnership dispute. Settlement, straightforward probabilistic settlement negotiation, right? Complicated transaction for disposition. And it's like, well, where does this counsel help us in any way in terms of bucks or effectiveness?
Great, that's a great add. So in the interim between this board meeting and next board meeting, we'll work on all of those deliverables. And work on sequencing them, but the first one that we could task Eileen with would be to provide the board with more information on how the reporting structure would work between staff, board, and general counsel. Is that
Not how.
Reporting and evaluation.
Why, or why the setup. Supporting her recommendation of that setup.
okay?
I think I understand what you guys were saying, but like the direct report to the board versus
So like
the
why? The why, not the what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like some comparison, how other organizations might work and why this is the recommended approach
For us.
for us. Yeah.
She has written that to LUMCO, so we have.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
I guess, Madam President, one of the difficulty in having bridging it is I'm anchored by my city and county experience, and one of the things that this is kind of implying changing is, it's like now the ED is sitting there, and there's the attorney also sitting there all the time, and it's sort of when we give instructions, who are we giving instructions to, of what nature, and sort of it's a relationship change. It's not only a relationship change in terms of how we do legal things, it's a relationship in terms of our dynamic with the executive director. Because right now, sort of legal outcomes or legal performance is in her umbrella. And now we're saying, well, legal performance is in a different place. And so I'm sort of, luckily, I will really be here to live with this baby. But it's sort of like, what are we giving the next board? The next board will show up, right, potentially be like, oh, well, there's always a lawyer here that's our lawyer. And they will absorb it, but then it's sort of, well, like when we give instructions, who are we giving instructions to? So when we say, somebody negotiate this, who's
So like clear guidelines on who handles what topics?
right, because this year I'm evaluating our potential legal outcomes
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
directly and indirectly lives through our ED. If we pressure test what we've been doing with the existing of whichever permutation of counsel exists, whose outcome is that?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree with that.
And therefore kind of what dynamic are you creating where the ED will be like, you have counsel.
Yeah, I think the general intention from Lemco, and correct me if, let me speak for myself. My general intention as a part of Lemco and understand and watching the past year unfold is really to free up staff time so that they can go and focus on AIM and making Travis County strong and resilient for housing. And I think that we have gotten a ton of staff time has been devoted to the legacy legal issues. I would love to see staff get back to what the core of their jobs are, and so that we can achieve that goal of being the best HFC in Texas. And I think that this would help us get there.
So what I'm hearing is you want to encapsulate legal outcomes in a different role. And I think that makes sense. And so then it's a question of what is the cost, which legal outcome, et cetera. But the encapsulation so that if we're, the intentional separation of legal outcomes from executive performance, as long as it's intentional and everybody understands what we're doing, then that can make sense if it is understood what that therefore means in terms of how we've handled a variety of the things we've done, right? Where it's all of a sudden the responsibility might be in somebody else's. It also changes. We're going from evaluating as part of a long form to now whether you have this other form, and the logistical tail and the time tail, the drama tail that comes with it. As long as it's intentional and coherent when presented, I like apple pie, pecan pie, pumpkin pie. It can be salty, it can be sweet, and so I will defer to the crafter. All that I'm asking is the cost-benefit test and the coherence test to be passed.
Yeah, and I think as a part of evaluating and putting together the scope, the legal adventures and how it would have been different is like a very important thing to be spelled out on how having this role would have handled this.
And just a coda on what you said, in addition to the cost benefit, it is important to encapsulate this legacy problem because it's toxic. And it's not our mission. As much as there's an injustice amongst us and there's a bad actor out there and we'd love to bring that person down, that isn't what we're suited to do. It's not even what our mission or our staff allocation or our organizational chart reflects people that are able to do these things. And so it has actually been siphoning off energy and money. And it could be that it's never going to work. It really could be that despite our urgent need to correct the legacy problems that we inherited, that we may not be able to do that. And we may need a sober person to tell us that. So I think it is a return to mission in some ways and a reset that's cleaner on let's go. We've got, look who is sitting here today, Journeyman. You know, well, let's get that pipeline going. You know, we can deploy HF, you know, our housing production fund this year, which I'm so excited about. But I'm not so excited about keeping doing what we've been doing with the Fishers, to be honest. And I just said that in open session. Sorry.
Any further questions, comments, concerns? All right. I will ask, is it possible to get a meeting transcript just so I can understand what the
It's recorded,
full list
and
of
probably in about 30
Captioned.
days, I believe we do have a transcript that is created. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Okay, so as mentioned, this item was for discussion only and no action is required. There is no further business. Is there a motion to adjourn? Director Groves, is there a second? Director Arce, it has been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion carries and the meeting is adjourned at 3:30.
Yeah.